Okay, hi. So we're going to go and show you guys what I'm doing. And view. Just made some money. Outfit of the day. Like, I don't know if I like this better or the black one better. Bro, we were supposed to get IMView montserrat to be on the big screen on Friday. So I bought this $600 skirt for Krista. And in the end, what happened is the internet wasn't like showing up on the computer all night. So it didn't get to happen, even though we took like some videos of it on the phone, up front and everything. It's actually not too bad a skirt. I made sure it's modest because it was going to be on a church's projector. Anyway, so yeah, like, should I use that today or the cuter one here? I think I'm gonna go with that one. So just make this the default. Save. Okay, that's saved now. Yeah, hair review. Let's get out of. Yeah, I know that was a Starlight dress. It's cute, but it's new. It's in peer review. Okay, come on, shop. So okay, go to IMView and Montserrat. Now, I've acquired some things since the last time you saw me. Mainly, I have St. John's ready. It's kind of strange, but yeah, there is a river in St. John's, just you don't like see it as obviously. And I kind of plan to like put some land over on the side, maybe more like that, and then put the gas station. I have the perfect gas station marked out in shop right here, as I showed y'all. Yeah, and that's gonna go by the side, and then maybe I was planning like more to the side. We put Katy Hill somewhere behind there. I mean, like, there is a shortcut that links Baker Hill to Katy Hill. It's called something like, what is it? Cassava gut, black gut, something gut shortcut. Yeah. Anyway, and I also got some new houses for Davy Hill. I still have to put in stuff like Victor's, but Victor's is like, it's mad expensive, man. It's like something 2,000 credits. And I can't like play cheap and go for something else because Victor's in real life is blue. That's why I choose the blue and bakery so that I can like customize it and stuff. Let me just show y'all quick. Alright, so here we are. Come on. Right, so that's basically what Victor's is like, except Victor's on Montserrat, it's kind of, you know that Montserrat is pure hills, baby. We ain't gonna be affected by no tsunami. Yeah, okay, try. Yeah, so it's something more like that, because like Dave Hill goes up the hill, and then it's like turned inside, so maybe it look like that area life. And then you go in. It's not tilted inside because what Monstratians do is they measure the hill and then they put a little like platform so that inside the house it's straight. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, back to my room. Oh, I loaded in that outfit. Okay, it's not so bad. So yeah, we have the Davy Hill houses now. You need like about, I don't know, maybe 5 more or so. And then there's an upstairs and downstairs one up on like the top of the hill. And there's a greenhouse. And like when you reach midway through the yard of that greenhouse, you know St. John's is over. And this hill here, oh my gosh, it used to send you like death because the air pressure. Yeah, the air pressure is just no joke. Your ears will literally lose hearing like you are on a plane or something. This happens to girls and boys, so it's not just like a gender thing. It's crazy. You have to plug your ears sometimes, otherwise you're going deaf, fam. Okay, so that's Romeo, so you know that part. Coolio. Okay, so right now our job for the day is we're going to go and buy the windmill, because there has to be a windmill, like, oh boy, I need to put a man jack too, man. Like, okay, a hill has to go basically like maybe almost to the end of here, like maybe there. It's got to be a hill. Yeah, and it does link up to Baker Hill. That's actually where the library that I am right now is in, but whatever. In that hill. And then there's a church at the tippy top of it and stuff. And there's several houses. Diffid used to be there, but then Diffid got tired of sending the rent to the guy who lived overseas. So they're like, we moving out, bruv. Come for your house. We're not taking care of it no more. Maybe they're more like, we moving out, fam. You gotta come for your house. We're not gonna be looking after it no more. So they left and they went into a place I still need to build down here. Mr. Ferrara's building. And then, yeah, so the owners were in England because a lot of these Tainos, they go to England, they don't really come back that often. And now they're here more often, like looking after their house. So yeah, there's that. There actually is a bridge somewhere up there, the Baker Hill area. Oh yeah, and there's another windmill in Baker Hill, and there's a windmill up on the top here, which is actually a smart spot to put a windmill. Low key, perhaps that's what the guy was thinking. Like, okay, I'm gonna put the windmill on the top so that any wind, it catches it, and my fan will spin faster and grind up the sugar cane to make sugar so I can get some shmoney. Shmoney. But that was like, what, maybe the 1700s? It was a good long time ago. Those windmills have been around for a long time, baby. Okay, let me just get changed real quick. Hide. I know it's sharing. Let me find that outfit. Boom. Okay. Part of the reason that I'm stalling so long is because I really don't want to be spending. You know how long it took me to work for all this money? And it's about to go like zam. Shop. Okay, get this out of here. I don't even have enough for that anyway. So we're looking for the windmills. There we are. Try. Yeah. Do I have anything else? So that's the windmill with the house. There's like a $900 windmill somewhere else. See it here. That's the one that doesn't have those trees, and we might end up buying that. Oh gosh. Anyway, just this one is gonna be the one in Manjak. Bye. Boom. Bye all. Goodbye, money. Farewell. Ouch goes my wallet. All right. And you know something? I still got enough money to buy a tree that I had wanted. I should probably buy that tree. Come on, tree. Where you at? Where you at, friend? If you want to help buy some of these things to make montserrat, like, be my guest. Because what I'm trying to do is get some montserratians and some, like, maybe friends who have read a lot about montserrat. I'm not just going to take any and anyone. You can't be brand new to the game. And I'm going to try to, like, show you what the day when the volcano erupted, July 1995, was like. So, yeah. Let me just buy this tree right quick. Make the forest and stuff. Well, that's so cute. Anyway, it's actually really nice. Okay, bye. A $400 tree. Bye. Bye all. Gonna go to like 200 something. Oh, okay. Not so bad. Okay, so now I got that and my tree. My room. I don't feel like talking anymore. I wonder if I can just like put up BBC. Don't do that, okay?
an arsenal of nuclear weapons that President Putin boasts about, and in fact he says that they're the most potent and powerful in the world today. But you have an economy which is weak and vulnerable.
True, and we know this, but this economy has sustained quite a lot, beginning from World War II, and I can assure you that the government and the president are very much keen, to make sure that the necessary reforms are taken through. And this was the essence of the first half of the presidential message to the parliament. And his second part, when he informed his audience about the new weapons delivered in Russia, he ended by saying, "We always are ready to talk, provided the talk is respectful and based on the looking for balance of interest."
And a final thought. The Secretary General of the UN, Antonio Guterres, said the other day, the Cold War is back with a vengeance, but also with a difference, because now the safeguards to manage the risk of escalation are no longer present. That is a truly frightening thought. You've been Foreign Minister for 13 years. Is this the most scary time that you have lived through?
The safeguards, one of the safeguards is having normal channels. The channels between us and UK have been closed by the British, with all agencies fighting against terrorism. Between the military, it was dropped long ago by the initiative of London. NATO-Russia Council, which was a very useful mechanism to promote confidence and transparency, was closed for all practical purposes by NATO, who only wants to discuss Ukraine in that body. And the European Union closed all the avenues of cooperation with Russia, except talking to us on Syria and on.
But do you feel you're in a new Cold War?
Well, I think it's worse. Because during the Cold War there were channels of communication, and there was no obsession with Russophobia, which looks like genocide by sanctions.
Sergei Lavrov, we're out of time, but I thank you very much for being on Hard Talk.
This is the BBC World Service. The news follows shortly after this. Two women with a shared experience.
The title of First Lady you get by virtue of marriage. And like with all unearned privilege, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it.
I had to deal with both practical things and stuff within the family, and everything changed.
A unified spirit.
I went out of the building with my white skin. That was a really good time to contemplate by myself.
You just accept your blindness, and then there's no looking back after that.
Or a matching talent.
I wanted to become an elite gymnast, so that requires more hours. So then I had to start homeschooling.
I grew up in a communist system. For me, gymnastics was a door opener to the world.
I'm Kim Chakanetsa, and each week we bring together two women from different parts of the world, united by a common thread.
The Conversation at bbcworldservice.com/conversation.
I'm Gareth Mitchell with Technology this half hour here on the BBC World Service. Today we hear from the bloggers in the Democratic Republic of Congo who are using social media and video to give young Congolese people a voice and to tell stories about corruption and intimidation. And sometimes I think we're really living in science fiction because we're talking about technology that will capture a 3D scan of a real person and then make them into an avatar that appears in an interactive virtual reality movie. That's coming up after the news.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. Syria says inspectors from the International Chemical Weapons Watchdog have finally begun their mission in Douma, the town where a toxic gas attack is said to have taken place 10 days ago. But the US State Department says it doesn't believe they have entered the alleged attack site. Starbucks, the US coffee shop giant, says it will close 8,000 of its US cafes for one afternoon next month to train its staff in racial awareness. The chain was heavily criticized for the recent arrest of two black men at one branch, even though they were just waiting to meet friends. The Prime Minister of Antigua has urged reparations for people who've lost out because of British immigration policies. But Gaston Brown welcomed the apology offered by Prime Minister Theresa May for the insensitive treatment of the so-called Windrush children, some of whom have lost jobs or access to benefits. He said those responsible should face reprisals. Thousands have rallied in Yerevan's Republic Square to protest at the Armenian parliament's vote to install the former president as the all-powerful new prime minister. Protesters accused Serge Sarkisyan of trying to cling onto power after his second presidential term. The opposition leader said it was the start of a non-violent revolution. The US Drug Enforcement Administration is to limit the quantity of opioids that drug makers can produce each year in another move to halt an epidemic that's ravaged much of the country. The Attorney General will soon announce full details. The Indian Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi has described the rise in the number of reported cases of sexual abuse against children in the country as a national emergency. There have been protests across India after a series of child rapes. And a type of plankton, regarded as a key part of the marine ecosystem, has been named after the popular BBC documentary series Blue Planet. BBC News.
Hello, I'm Gareth Mitchell, and this is our World Technology Programme. Today, blogging for freedom of expression in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and really pushing at the limits of virtual reality as VR meets AI, and also 3D body capture and speech recognition. And it's all about producing immersive movies where the characters interact with you. Wow. Interaction with Bill Thompson this week, I think you'll find as well, technology expert.
Hello, Gareth, and trying to be pretty immersive as well.
Indeed.
Just close your eyes and dream.
Of course, well, I've always said radio is the original virtual reality, so let's get immersed. And we're going to start with this, actually. This is quite shocking, actually. A moment of police corruption captured on YouTube. Well, that's a police roadblock in Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the police there are demanding money from a motorcyclist, and it's all getting pretty heated, as you can hear. The corruption is captured by a blogger, and it's posted on the YouTube channel of a blogging collective in Congo. Now, later this week, that collective, called Habari RDC, will find out whether exposés like that have won it an award in this year's Freedom of Expression Awards. Habari has been nominated in the Digital Activism category. The awards themselves will be announced later this week, and one of the Habari bloggers joins me live, as indeed does Jodie Ginsberg from Index on Censorship, which is the campaigning non-profit that's organising the awards. So, Jodie, just for people who aren't aware of them, I know the awards go back to 2001, but what are the Freedom of Expression Awards?
So we give an award every year in 4 categories: in arts, digital activism, campaigning and journalism, to groups or individuals who've done amazing work in defending and promoting free expression globally, and we celebrate their achievements.
And obviously we have you on, we're a technology program, so we're interested in the use of social media, video, that kind of thing, but the awards themselves don't necessarily have to have a tech basis. And you know, you talk about art, for instance.
No, obviously the digital activism category has a tech basis, and in fact a lot of our nominees do have some kind of tech component to them these days. The internet is a really key part of freedom of expression. But no, we have artists who are doing public art installations in Cuba, for example, as nominees. Very public, in-your-face way of alerting the authorities to dissent and disagreement.
So we're going to hear a bit about Habari RDC, which we heard there was that YouTube clip, and one of their bloggers had captured that. What was interesting about them for you?
I think what's really interesting about Habari is the way they're really focused on the voice of young people and using the internet, using Facebook to give those people a voice from all different kinds of communities in DRC. So giving a voice to LGBT activists, for example. So regardless of gender or regardless of sexuality, you have a voice, and it's a way of speaking to the authorities.
Okay, now also here in the studio is Guy Miembi, who is with Habari RDC. So a collective of over 100 bloggers, you're one of them. And Guy, first of all, what is the climate like for free reporting in the DRC? Is it censored? To what extent is it, I suppose, mediated?
The situation in my country is more difficult for those who need to know what our government done every year. We are fighting against corruption. We are fighting against all things that can't make our country prosper. And the situation is very difficult because if you are make criticism against our government, against those who are on power today, you take a big risk. You can be arrested, and you can be even assassinated.
So we have a clip like the one on your YouTube channel, and we saw there the police were acting in a corrupt way with that motorcyclist. Is it now that the technology platforms like YouTube and the social media are allowing you to tell those stories and to convey them to the outside world?
Yes, the YouTube channels, the smartphone is becoming good tools for militants like us bloggers to witnesses about what is going bad in our countries, because medias, television, radio, newspapers are on the end of those who are in power today. Yeah, you can't hear stories about corruption like that you have seen on our YouTube channels.
And Bill Thompson, we really, some police corruption, somebody gets a smartphone out and puts it on YouTube. There would never be enough time for a professional film crew to leave the TV station and get there to witness that.
And this is something we've seen sort of over the years, that the new means of publishing information do allow that immediacy and do allow small groups to organise around sharing it. Obviously, one of the problems is, although, as you say, the newspapers may be sort of in alliance with the government, YouTube can be blocked, and so you're still relying on channels where somebody else is in control. And I know there is your own blog. You are publishing your own material as well. You're not just relying on YouTube to get the message out.
Today, the chance we have in a country like Democratic Republic of Congo, it's one of the poorest country in the world, is that internet is not yet on control of the government. The government can cut off internet, but they can't control internet. On January, February, we face about the cut of internet, and the government can't decide to cut off internet all the year, okay? And they can decide we cut off internet today, tomorrow, but after that we are obliged to release internet. It is our choice. Just Democratic Republic of Congo is not like China, where the government can decide that a website can't be see on internet in our country.
Yeah, or Cameroon, where there have been many internet shutdowns, and we've reported them on this program. We only have about another minute, Jodie, but I wonder if we can talk about another of your nominees. So this is from Egypt, and it's Ahmad Abdallah, who has done some very striking work in terms of reporting on dissidents who have gone missing, for instance. Tell me about that.
So the Egyptian Commission for Rights and Freedoms does amazing work tracking enforced disappearances, which are a huge problem in Egypt. And we were talking this morning with them about the way in which the state exercises surveillance. And he told us a story which is both shocking and humorous in equal measure, where the state surveillance is such that their phones are listened into. At one point he was talking to his girlfriend in the early hours of the morning, and the guy from the security services who was listening in on the other end sort of cut in and said, "Can you stop talking now, please? I'd like to go to bed." But it just shows you the level of interference that these people face in terms of their private lives, when every single conversation they have, both in the digital world but also just on their phones, is being monitored.
The thought police, Bill Thompson.
Well, of course, and that's what we see all over the place. I mean, it's really so crude and so obvious that it's happening. But we do, of course, know that digital technologies make it easier to do that sort of surveillance in ways that are invisible to those being observed. And that, of course, is the real concern. Usually invisible.
Usually, yeah, not usually quite as overt as that. Okay, well, there we will leave it. Thank you very much indeed for coming in, Jodie Ginsberg, and also Guy as well. It's been really good to have you both on. So, and by the way, those awards are being announced on Thursday this week. So, this is Click from the BBC in London. I'm Gareth Mitchell with Bill Thompson, and we're going to talk about film experiences now, very much that seem like something almost like out of science fiction, where you can almost do a 3D scan of one of your friends, they can go into the movie, and then using speech recognition and volumetric capture and so on, the avatar interacts with you in real time in the movie. Yes, folks, that's really where it's going, and all that and more is unfolding at the Tribeca Film Festival. It's about to stage a week and a half of virtual and augmented reality in its virtual arcade, and it will be a chance to see who's pushing the technology to its limits. Lauren Hammonds is Senior Programmer of Film and Immersive at Tribeca. And earlier I put it to Lauren that VR is still seen as a rather solitary experience. You don the goggles and you kind of shut out the outside world. Quite different to the shared experience of cinema. But at this festival, it's different, he says.
This year, we're excited to introduce the Cinema 360. It's a 20-seat VR cinema where everyone will have an individual headset, but it's a collective experience. So a synchronous start of 4 curated programs where the audience members can have these experiences and then also have the opportunity to speak to one another and kind of share their thoughts on the programs. It's an exciting way to convene people around VR.
Yeah, and I think that's a very interesting development, because my feeling about VR has often been that you do tend to go into a rather solitary space when having VR, and I wonder if this is an attempt to address that.
We are convening people in different ways. So we're convening people in the virtual arcade, which is an exhibition, but also with the Cinema 360, it's more of a traditional theatrical atmosphere. And the work that we've curated also lends itself to this. I love the idea of putting together programs with short 360 content and thinking of the full experience that audiences are going to have, the transitions between projects, and just the overall experience that they have coming out of this cinema. I can't wait to talk to some people about it and sneak in there myself.
Obviously always keen to find out about the use of technological trends within VR, and I'm hearing, especially this year, more and more about volumetric video. For the uninitiated, what is that?
Volumetric video is capturing 3D assets, specifically people, and then rendering them in VR environments, usually in Unity or Unreal, to create a greater sense of presence and a greater sense of dimension for characters within a VR experience. And a lot of people are experimenting with it, and I think there are some great tools out there right now, and several of our experiences, both VR and AR, are using volumetric capture.
So what this means is then VR